This is Brandon Clay. Appreciate you tuning into the Brandon Clay Show. Today we're talking about the class of 2026 rankings released, 247 Sports. Been a big 7 days, right? We rolled out the 25 class last Thursday. We're going to roll out an iteration of 27 next Thursday. Today is a unique day where we're going to drop on a Wednesday, but we're really looking forward to it. Let's start with number one. Let's get right to it. You got Kate Harpring. You got Sanaya Hall, you got Jersey Robinson, three kids who obviously have really good resumes, all the offers you'd want as a prospect, and have done great jobs individually. We're going to go with the overtime league MVP and Kate Harpring at number one. I think so much is made about winning and winning time, and I thought that overtime, the league in totality did a really good job of getting all the stars, right? Whether it's Sienna Betts, Jazz Davidson, and Leah Chavez in 25, 1, 2, 3 respectively. 27, you look at Kalina Smith. She played. Gigi Banks played. You look at 26, Hart, Hall, and Jersey Robinson all played. So if you're the MVP of that league and everything else is pretty close, I'm going to let the tie go to the runner, so to speak, there in that regard. And that was Kate Harper. The ascent has been honestly wild to witness firsthand. Goes from unranked by most of the major publications 12 months ago to, edge of the top 20, battles her way to the top 10, going into the summer, and then took on all comers as she has done really her whole club career. Look back at the past 3 summers and has played at a really high level. So she can do it all, can score it at 3 levels. Had a great conversation with John Albert, one of the coaches on Overtime, the league, who actually coached against her in the championship and ended up taking a loss to her team. And, he really praised her work ethic, right? And her ability to play both sides of the ball and her energy. And this was on the Coach Reed Live show on Monday night. Make sure to go back and archive that if you hadn't. You can find the stream on my X feed at Brandon Clay PSB. But, my counter to him was that he was absolutely correct. And I think the second part to that is we are so accustomed now to talking about Kate in a fashion where we talk about her work ethic and her defense and her energy, all of which are very true, that you forget about her skill set, right? She scored 39 points in 2 games and had this signature offensive play of both nights with the best kids on the floor in the country. I talked about the left-hand finish over Jazzy Davidson, who just committed to Southern California yesterday. That was the semifinal play of the night, right? And it comes back in the finals with a spin cycle finish there to end it with a right-hand layup, which was the play of the night in the championship game. So, both games on both days, she had the signature offensive play to go along with all of the other things that she does so well. So we'll start with her at 1. Sanaya Hall out of Ohio is going to go to Mount Vernon this year. Played early in OTE, was not able to make it for the finals. She actually would have been on the opposing team alongside Kalina Smith for John Albert. Love everything about Hall's game. She was really good up in Ohio at a select events tournament that I was able to attend the first part of July. Her ability to handle the basketball, she can score it. She made a move and snatched back on this kid. Kid falls to the ground. Chris Paul, right when Steph Curry left and Chris Paul's playing Twister, it was that kind of vibe. Hall hits the 3-pointer, place goes bananas. She's really good at basketball, right? And then last but certainly not least here, Jersey Robinson out of California, did not play club this year. Definitely an interesting kind of take there from her, but has been the MVP 2 years in a row during FIBA play, playing for USA Basketball, accomplished resumes at Sierra Canyon now, has an NIL deal with Nike, has done some really remarkable things before her junior season in high school even gets started. Can flat out put the ball in the bucket, looks to score it. Will be interesting to see, if they stay with the same kind of train of thought of not playing club next year, or if they get back on the circuit. But she can flat out hoop. So can't go wrong with any of the 3. But for now, we'll let the overtime select MVP win the tiebreak there. Kate Harpring is your number 1. Looking at this class, seeing a little bit of the injury bug already. We're going to give you a good story on this. Let me talk about a couple kids that are going to be sidelined. Kelsey Andrews, got hurt late July last year in Memphis. And what a remarkable comeback in terms of playing at a really high level. I thought she had a great matchup with Olivia Bucoso, talking about the overtime league there. I thought Andrew's ability to score the basketball, right, whether it's around the rim, finishing, rebounding, post entries, And then honestly, even hit a bank jumper from the 3 line. Not something you count on all the time there, but definitely something that if she can continue to expand her game, she's going to attend IMG Academy this year. If she can continue to do that, you're going to see more and more growth from where she is right now to where she will be in a year, and in a class that doesn't have a lot of traditional size, right? Especially once you get outside of the top 30. Andrews is as good as anybody on the board, and that includes Olivia Vukosa, and that's a big up to Vukosa, but also a respect to Andrews, the kind of where she's come back from after that injury. You got in Texas, you got JCB, different school this coming year there at Legacy, and then you got Sinai Green, JC at 18, Sinai at 27. Sinai's going to transfer from Stewart in Virginia to Long Island Lutheran up north there in New York. And then Jenica Lewis at 23. All will miss the school season, at least as of this moment. All are projected to miss the school season, with lower leg injuries suffered during the course of the summer. You go top 30 and, 3 of the kids are out during the school season. It's just a disproportionate amount of injuries. All 3 of them are really good basketball players, and you hope that they're all able to recover at the level that Kelsey Andrews has and has kind of gotten back into her groove. We definitely wish all 3 of them well. The versatility in the front court, I think, really jumps out to me. 3 different types of players. You've got Ashley Kupal, who made a big, big leap to number 9 out of South Dakota. And a lot of that's still projection. I thought she was really good. Watched her in Ohio. Watched her again at Rock Hill at the end of the summer. Really like what I see. Great size, skilled, can make plays, but still have not had the opportunity, to see her game in and game out playing with other kids at a very similar level to her. And that's something that I'll have the opportunity to do next summer as she's going to play with All Iowa Attack. Addison Bajorn and then the aforementioned Lewis will be on that roster. So really good pieces there. I think, Ashland's a kid who can just make everyone around her better, has got some plans to make some visits, has taken some trips. Obviously, some people have been there for open gyms. I actually think she's going to make a Southeastern swing there during the month of November, which is interesting, again, for a kid, kind of in the middle of the country, middle third for sure, to make that trek to different regions and play. And a lot of that is conference alignment now, right? Stanford and Cal Berkeley in the ACC, but so is Georgia Tech. You could go almost anywhere, and there's no telling who will be in your league. If you haven't paid attention to that, just Google Pac-12 expansion and look at some of the teams that they're considering right now. It's what a different world we live in, but cool for a kid like Ashland to be able to have a lot of different options there. Bree Crittenden, I thought, had a good summer. Played with Colorado lockdown. Had a great matchup with Kate Harpring there in Ohio. She was at USA Basketball. Got to see a lot of positives. The length or skill set, I think there's still room to grow. She'll play with Jason Kidd Select next year. McKenna Belitsko, who we've got at number 5 in the country. One of my favorites. We call them runarounds, and she just gets to going. So her and Bree will be a really nice pairing. And I think a lot of the same skill stuff that you have and see with the Crittenden, where there's still a lot of room left to unlock what's there. You could see from our number 21 ranked player in Bella Ragone, who actually goes to Mill Creek High School here in Georgia. I had a chance to see our high school coach, Jeremy Huckabee, the other day. Iowa was in for an open gym. Jan Jensen, head coach, flew in to see Ragone, see Harpring. And I think there's a lot of that same run room left for Ragone. But I think when you talk about an Ashland or a Bree and their choices to move to programs, they're going to have another couple of players, that are at that legitimate mid-major group of 5 all the way through, the P4 level. Gives you a chance to really see what they can do when they're surrounded by good talent. And it's almost always an upgrade, right? Very rarely do they go and get 3 shots a game. Those kids are still good at the end of the day. They're going to get 12 to 15 good shots. So interested to watch what all 3 of them do over the course of the next 12 months and where that leads us as we start to close this class out in September of 2025. At the point guard position, a little bit less numerically than what we're accustomed to. Our 25 class had 7 point guards in the top 30. This class right now is sitting on what we call 3 and a possible. Obviously, we talked about Kate Harpring, Autumn Fleary from Team Takeover, and then Madden Greenway from North Tartan, both inside the top 20. And then Brooklyn Hayward, kind of the possible there, played with Addie Deal and Jazz Davidson, both who can handle the ball, get offensive started, are super unique, almost unicorns, especially in the case of Davidson at her height range. I think there's some of the Davidson type game there to Ragone where it's inside, outside, on ball, off ball, corner three, whatever you want. But because of that, for Haywood, she scored quite a bit and definitely good at that. And that might be what she does long term. But, is there a possibility for her next summer where she slides and plays on the basketball? That obviously would add a fourth here. So we'll wait and see. But it's been really interesting. Fleer and Greenway, I thought, were really good out at USA, really earned my attention and my words coming out of that particular event. Fleary is smooth, true floor controller, never looks rattled, sped up, right? Where Greenway plays, and it's just fast, right? You watch it, the metronome is just flying on her, and she just plays with an intensity and the energy that few can match. Strong frame, can shoot it, likes to get to the rim, willing to attack, find teammates. Interesting that we don't have as much point guard play as we traditionally do, but the ones that we do have in this class grade out really, really high. You'll be able to see all of it. Make sure you go to 247sports.com. Definite thanks to my editor, Xavier Hamilton, who's been great. Trey Scott, the big boss. And then make sure, too, that you kind of keep track of Deshaun London, who's doing a great job with the recruiting stories and the coverage. We're really focused on 26 classes wide open. We only have one kid inside the 30 that's committed, but you'll see a lot of things about visits, stuff that those kids are doing over the next 6 months as 25 kind of comes to a head. Those kids make decisions, and we turn our full attention to 2026. As always, appreciate you tuning in. Can't wait for next week to dive into the sophomore class of the 27s. A lot of really good ball players, including the Halen Ayers, where I know Gary Reedus from LSU is going to visit her school today. A lot of activity. I love this stuff. Until next time, Any Gym Zone.